what we notice, but you write this down. And the question that really takes us to that next level, thinking about what we picture, what we notice, is what is my first thought or reaction? What I mean by first is like, what is like my initial thought? What's the first thing I think of when I read that section? Cool. When we look at that title, Finding Light in the Darkness, can someone share with me what you imagine, what you picture? Yeah, what's your name again?
Eli?
Eli? Yeah.
I picture like this lamp in like a dark hallway.
Okay. I like that. It's a great image. Lost my pencil. I'm going to use this a lot. Okay. We're going to write down light in the dark hallway.
It's actually better.
Good. Good. Okay. Anyone else have a different picture for light in the dark hallway? Or sorry, for finding the light in the darkness? Yeah.
I just see like, I guess a completely black picture and there's just a little dot of light in the middle.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I think it's like a cave.
Okay. Why a cave?
Because like if you went into the cave and then you kept that hole.
Okay. Yeah, so like you can see the end, right? You can see something at the end. Something else that we do as readers, oh, the flower's in the way. Okay. Something else that we do as readers, kind of that next step, is we have these more than, what I'm going to call more than moments. And what I kind of picture with the more than moment is I kind of picture like a grassy hill, maybe there's a tree on top, right? So I look at it and I'm like, oh, it's a grassy hill, but there's something buried beneath it, right? There's something more there, okay? The question I'm going to ask, okay, is what is below the surface? We look at that title, Finding Light in the Darkness. We might have this image of, I always picture like a room that's all the lights are off and there's like one candle flame. Okay, whatever that image is for you. Is there something more there? What could that mean instead of just a literal light in a dark room or a dark hallway or a dark cave? Yeah, tell me your name.
My name is Jace, and I think it's figuring something out when it's really hard.
Okay, figuring out something when it's really hard. Why do you think that?
Because, like, finding light in darkness, I think of darkness as, like, a really hard time, and finding light is, like, finding something good.
Okay. When I'm going to put good, because I like that word as well. Anything else? Yeah.
Kind of what Jake said, because like the story might be about like a character like finding something good out of something that wasn't good.
Okay. You should be writing this down. Look at the first stanza. In the darkness of the night. You keep writing while I do this. I shiver under the covers, unable to free myself from the bitter cold, hidden in the disgust you shove at me. What is the image that you have in your mind of that stanza? What do you picture? What do you imagine? What was your name?
Banner?
What is it?
Banner?
Banner? Is that what I say? Banner, what do you imagine with that first stanza?
Like someone made you really bad.
Okay, so that's a more than moment, right? You're thinking about something more. What do you picture? She's sitting in a room, and what is she doing?
Shivering.
She's shivering. What does that mean? She's freezing, right? Okay? Okay, so she's freezing, right? Okay, so let's take it beyond, because we've done it several times. Mira, you said, what did you say?
Like, someone made her really mad. She
Okay,
was sitting there.
good, right? Someone made her mad. Someone else said something else that was a more than moment. Yeah, that's okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, if you shiver, you can also be, like, scared of something.
Yeah, shivering is also the reaction to being scared. Does anyone else notice anything else in that stanza that you're thinking about? Yeah.
She said that she said in the discussion of it English and she probably doesn't like that person.
Okay. So she probably doesn't look like whoever is the you, right? Okay. Why don't you think she likes her? Sure. Oh, great more than moment. Okay, maybe she's being bullied. And that bullying, right, is making her feel scared or mad. Okay. Let's continue. Keep moving on. I'm going to leave that up there for you to turn it down. In the darkness of the hallway, I spill invisible blood, unable to protect myself from the sharp sting of the insults you throw at me. What's the picture that we have of that stanza? What do we imagine? Yes.
She imagining somebody else living in house that she
Okay, so someone is definitely trying to hurt her, right? Like, really, with something sharp, okay? Okay, with something sharp. Okay, can we take it further? What's the invisible blood? Someone really, like, poke her with a knife and make her bleed?
No.
No, what does they mean? What do you think, Bailey? Well, okay, so maybe, like, literally it's talking about someone poking her, but it says it's invisible blood, right? Can someone make us feel so bad that it feels like we're bleeding inside?
Yeah.
What do we mean by that? Okay, maybe they're being bullied.
They're getting hurt by someone.
Yeah, right? It hurts so much that it feels like I'm dying inside, right? It feels like I'm bleeding inside. Anyone else want to say something about that? Is there something more there? Yeah.
She could be being abused, like at home or something.
Okay.
Because she's at home too. So she
Okay.
could be like hiding in her room.
Okay. Good. Yeah, maybe she's being abused.
It's interesting, no one mentioned that all the time.
And your evidence was, right, that both of those stanzas are at home. Okay. Yeah.
like they make her like say things that are so mean that it makes her feel like she's bleeding because they
Sure.
just said that.
Okay. Make sure you're writing this stuff down, guys. She's writing it too. I want you to write it down as well.
She's teaching you how to mark up a text. That's the point of this exercise, is to mark up a text and really dive into the meaning behind the word.
In the darkness of the street, I cower as you come at me, unable to defend myself. What does it look like to cower? Can you picture cowering? What does it look like to cower? Yeah.
Like
Jake.
all up in the corner.
Yeah, I'm like curled up in a corner and I'm shaking, right? Let's finish that stanza and then we'll. From the very real terror behind the threats you pick at me. Okay, I want to stop for a second. Something that we do as readers. Okay, one of the most important things that we notice in a text is we notice language. A lot of times words kind of jump out at us, or phrases jump out at us, and we also notice patterns. And the question we ask of that is, why did the author do that? If we look back at their first three stanzas, do we notice any patterns with language or words? What do we see repeated? Yeah. Okay. We see in the darkness, in the darkness, in the darkness. We also see night. Okay. What do you do with that? Why do you think that the author chose darkness as an image for this poem? Yeah.
Because maybe this might be referring to them when they were younger.
What do you mean by that?
Like they were bullied, and it was kind of like the dark age for them.
Okay, dark age. So like maybe the dark age being like a time when life didn't feel right, maybe? Yeah.
I think it's like setting the tone for the music.
Uh-huh.
Like it almost seems like it's more evil in a way.
Okay, because we associate darkness, right? A lot of times we think about, like if it's the middle of the night, okay, things seem scarier, right? Or sadder, or what did you say? How did you describe darkness?
Like evil.
Evil, okay, in the night than if they're in the day, right? Because you can't see everything, right? Things are more mysterious. So we said evil, scary. Any other reasons the author might choose darkness? Yeah.
Well, the character could feel like they're surrounded by nothing but darkness, like there's no help.
Okay, I love that. Okay, the character feels like they're surrounded by nothing but darkness. We said there's no help.
Yeah.
Okay. Other patterns you notice in these first three stanzas? Daily, what do you notice?
She's like protect myself or free myself or like defend myself.
Okay. Free myself, protect myself, okay, defend myself. And it's not just myself, myself, myself. What's the beginning of those lines? Yeah.
Like trying to
Unable to, right? She can't. She's unable to. I want you to turn to your partner, turn to the person next to you, and I want you to talk about why do you think the author chose that word, unable? Why did the author choose to repeat that throughout the poem? Props.
Just to make what she made feel
I think your paper would be like.
Yeah, so what is the word you would use to describe, like, I can't stop it?
Because I hate when
Okay, good. You use the same word. Okay. What about, like, trash? Or, like, stuff? Or, yeah. I mean, why do you say torture?
well, it's like
Okay, let me hear some of your ideas. Why unable to? What about that word? Yes, so what was your name? In the red.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What's your name again? Sorry.
That's okay. What was your name?
Drew?
Drew. Drew. Okay. Why did the author use unable? What about that word? What are they implying?
Probably because they can't do it.
Okay, because they can't do it. Okay. What else? Yes.
I think they're, I think documents are rare because they're only able to see the good thing, like the light at the end. Well, I think
No, keep going. The light at the end of what?
it's kind of like a hallway where it's really dark and it's really hard to see the light at the end of the hallway and it's forming and so much that.
Good. Okay, so our poet there, our narrator, okay, is stuck in the darkness, right? She can't get out, okay? I like that. It's a good idea. Stuck in the darkness. There's a couple other really great ideas. Back in the back, what were you using? What were the words you were using to describe unable to?
Trapped.
Trapped.
Can't.
Can't. Okay. Okay. Let's turn the page. In the darkness, I cry. In the darkness, I wish. In the darkness, I pray. What do you notice about those verbs? Yeah.
They're all stuff that you would do like if you were in danger.
Okay, so the stuff you would do if you were in danger. Good. Let's write that down. Okay. I wonder if we notice a pattern though here in those verbs. Crying, right? You're in one state when you're crying. Maybe when you're wishing, you're in a kind of a different state of mind. And when you're able to pray about it, maybe you're even in a different state of mind. Do you think she's maybe getting a little bit healthier or a little bit more able to deal with it?
She's getting more.
Okay, more hope. Good, I like that. One of the other things that readers think about, and is really important, especially when we're preparing for Socratic seminar, okay, when we're going to make text talk, I'll talk about that tomorrow, is that we make connections to other texts. This is on your T-chart, guys. And the question that we ask is how does this text talk to another? I wonder if we can make a connection here to something of the other June?
Tuesday of the other June.
Tuesday of the other June. Can we make a connection here to June?
Yeah.
What? What's the connection, Jace?
She was feeling some way as this person and she had to go to swim class on Tuesday.
Okay, what was she feeling?
Scared, nervous, sad.
Okay, can we do another connection? Yeah.
We read another story called The Jacket,
Mm-hmm.
and the author, like that who is asked for like a really fancy and popular jacket, and he got a really ugly jacket, and
So what's the connection?
and that there was this kid who was bullying him because he was wearing the jacket,
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of felt scared.
Okay, so what was his name?
Gary.
Gary. Okay. Okay. Yeah, did you have one? The connection to June?
Well, she was like, didn't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But
of my family room. I tell her of the coldness, able to see it's not me who is weak. Do we have a moment where things change here? Yeah, what is changing?
Well, like, it's becoming light and not dark.
Okay, I love that, right? Suddenly we have light. Light, 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 okay? I wonder if we can also make a connection to Tuesday of the other June here, when June decides things should change. What happens when June decides things should change? Yeah.
She like stops and she paints herself and tells her what she
Yeah, what does she do?
stops up for herself.
She says no, right? She stands up for herself, okay? In the light of my office, I tell him of the pain, able to see it's not me who is ignorant. Yeah?
So now I'm thinking like it's almost like his boss or her boss.
Why?
Well, 'cause like an office, and maybe it's like a mean boss who's like, go do your work or something.
Okay, are there any other locations that maybe there's offices? Yeah.
Schools, principal's office?
Oh, okay, so maybe could this office be like the principal's office or like even like a counselor's office?
Counselor or principal's office.
Okay, so I think that's a great clue. We're picking up on office, but I'm thinking maybe it's like a school office. One of the last things that readers think about is they think about big ideas. And the questions they ask themselves are, what is the author arguing? Or is there a lesson, maybe? I'm going to write lesson. That we learn from that? I wonder if we have a lesson here that we learn about bullying, or the author is making an argument about bullying here. Why don't you turn to your neighbor and decide, what do you think that argument could be? What is the author saying about bullying? Turn and talk. Right here talking. Okay. Duh. Now look at the text. What more interesting could the author say?
I guess that it's dark and it's, I guess it gives other people things and you finally find the light to it.
Okay, so what did you have to do to find the light?
Find someone else.
Right? Okay, that's a real idea. Write that down.
In the light of the family room.
What do you think? Okay. Why is it so important what she says?
Okay, so suddenly she realized, like, oh, I'm not married. Okay. Then,
I mean, why is it so important? What happened?
I mean, it could be that
Okay. She tries like, well, what does the light have to do about things? Take that metaphor further.
It looks like a little world.
Okay, kind of keep thinking a little bit. What do we got? Big ideas. This is such a quiet class. Is it usually this quiet?
No.
They do generally think. You hear a lot of wheels turning,
Uh-huh.
but they are a lot more conversational than this normally.
Okay, wake up, friends. Okay, what are the big ideas? What do you think? Guys, what were you talking about? Yeah.
Stand up for yourself.
Okay. Jake, when did you right? Okay. right. Darkness is repeated, and then light is repeated. How does she get to light? How does she get to things are getting better? Yeah.
She cries and she wishes when she's ready.
And then she what?
I don't know.
What does she do? She does something after that. Yeah.
She goes and tells someone.
She tells someone, right? She talks about it. I wonder if one of the big ideas that we learned from this poem is that it can't get better until you tell someone. Okay? Okay, I'm going to push you a little bit. Okay? If I tell someone, okay, I have this secret. Bailey's bullying me, right? Okay, I have this secret. Okay? If I'm holding that secret and I'm just cowering in the corner and being afraid of Bailey because she's terrifying, right? Terrifying. Okay? If I'm doing that, my secret's in the darkness, right? Okay? But when I tell someone what? It's in the light, right? People can see it. Okay? And suddenly it stops being so scary when I talk about it. The only reason I'm picking on Bailey is because we're great friends. Oh, sorry. It's a little bit off the screen. In the light of the new day, we stand side by side and we tell the world we must not tolerate hatred, able to see it is us who will bring change. Okay? What's that more than moment here?
The character was able to give to get kind of shows everyone what's going on and tell them. And it's kind of it's not like on the light in the hallway and I can see.
Yeah, I love that. She finally found the light. I'm going to put that back here. But there's even a change between these two, right? In these first two stanzas, she is finally telling someone about her pain. What is she doing in this last stanza? Chloe, what do you think?
Maybe she overcomes her fear.
Okay, she overcomes her fear. Good. We must not tolerate hatred, able to see it is us who will bring change.
That it needs like multiple people.
What clue do you have that it's multiple people?
Us.
Okay.
To like bring some like a big change to the world.
Okay, that's going to be one of our big ideas, right? It takes multiple people to make change.